जगत जननी भवानी 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 माता कालिका खड्गमूंड खपर कर धरणी कर धरणी कर धरणी असुर हर तरण तारिणी तरण तारिणी भक्त पालिका दयादायिनी भवानी 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 माता कालिका धनी रे सदा नी सा धा धा नी नी सा कालिका जय मां जय
know fully can follow as best as you can the Shanti mantras. And to compensate, those who know can chant little more loudly. I'm looking at select people. So, please open to page 1, which is also page 9. I love how that happens. ॐ शन्नो मित्रश्शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि इव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ शन्नो मित्रश्शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मावादिशं ऋतमवादिशं सत्यमवादिशं तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमावीत् आवीन्माम् आवीद्वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय मेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ आप्यायन्तु ममाङ्गानि वाक्प्राणश्चक्षुश्रोत्रमथो बलमिन्द्रियाणि च सर्वाणि सर्वं ब्रह्मोपनिषदं माहं ब्रह्म निराकुर्यां मा ब्रह्म निराकरोत् अनिराकरणमस्त्वनिराकरणं मे अस्तु तदात्मनि निरतेय उपनिषत्सु धर्मास्ते मयि सन्तु ते मयि सन्तु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ वाङ्मे मनसि प्रतिष्ठिता मनो मे वाचि प्रतिष्ठितम् आविराविर्म एधि वेदस्य मणिस्थः श्रुतं मे मा प्रहासीः अनेनाधीतेन अहोरात्रान् सन्दधामि घृतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारमवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं कर्णेभिः शृणुयाम देवाः भद्रं पश्येमाक्षभिर्यजत्राः स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽद्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया आस्पृणोतु अधारणो भूयासं शरीरं मे विचर्षणं जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरिविश्रुवं ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय ॐ शान्तिः 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 अहं वृक्षस्य रेरिव कीर्तिः पृष्ठं गिरेरिव ऊर्ध्वपवित्रो वाजिनीव स्वमृतमस्मि द्रविणगं सवर्चसं सुमेधा अमृतोक्षितः इति त्रिशङ्कोर्वेदानुवचनम् ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ भद्रं अपि वातय मनः ॐ शान्तिः 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 नारायणं पद्मभुवं वसिष्ठं शक्तिं च तत्पुत्रपराशरं च व्यासं शुकं गौडपदं महान्तं गोविन्दयोगीन्द्रमथास्य शिष्यं श्रीशङ्कराचार्यमथास्य पद्मपादं च हस्तामलकं च शिष्यं तं तोटकं वार्तिककारमन्यान् अस्मद्गुरुं सन्ततमानतोऽस्मि यो ब्रह्माणं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तगुंहदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाशं मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये ॐ शान्तिः 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 अशुभानि निराचष्टे तनोति शुभसन्ततिं स्मृतिमात्रेण यत्पुंसां ब्रह्म तन्मङ्गलं परम् अतिकल्याणरूपत्वात् नित्यकल्याणसंश्रयात् स्मर्तॄणां वरदत्वाच्च ब्रह्म तन्मङ्गलं विदुः ओङ्कारश्चाथ शब्दश्च द्वावेतौ ब्रह्मणः पुरा कण्ठं भित्त्वा विनिर्यातौ तस्मान्माङ्गलिकावुभौ ॐ अथ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः. Those who can read Devanagari can read this after me. Otherwise, you can just listen. And if you can repeat, you can repeat. Otherwise, you can just listen. युष्मदस्मत्प्रत्ययगोचरयोः विषयविषयिणोः तमः प्रकाशवत् विरुद्धस्वभावयोः इतरेतरभाव अनुपपत्तौ सिद्धायां तद्धर्माणामपि सुतराम् इतरेतरभाव अनुपपत्तिः इत्यतः अस्मत्प्रत्ययगोचरे विषयिणी चिदात्मके युष्मत्प्रत्ययगोचरस्य विषयस्य तद्धर्माणां च अध्यासः तद्विपर्ययेण विषयिणः तद्धर्माणां च विषये अध्यासः मिथ्या इति भवितुं युक्तं तथापि अन्योन्यस्मिन् अन्योन्यात्मकताम् अन्योन्यधर्मांश्च अध्यस्य इतरेतर अविवेकेन अत्यंत व्यवहारः. Yeah. So, a brilliant introduction, not just to the Brahma Sutra, because really it is not talking about the first sutra at all, just to the Shastra in general, a particular way of looking at it. And that's why we spent 4 classes on introducing, this introduction, because it is, as you can see, even if you don't know Sanskrit, it is very packed. Not difficult to understand. That's why we have the Bhashya has Tika, and the Tika has another Tika, and then Tippani, all these small various kinds of, commentaries, notes, clarifications called Tika, Tippani, etc. All these are there. And they shed the light on the intention of Adi Shankara as the Bhashyakara. And so therefore we spent a lot of time talking about what Adhyasa is and the conditions in which the Adhyasa takes place. One more condition I have to cover, it got left behind yesterday. We had covered 3 conditions. What are they? Under what circumstances does Adhyasa take place? Early morning quiz. Huh? Yes, so there is the, there has to be 2 things, Yeah, so Adhishthana, that without Adhishthana there can be no Adhyasa. And then that Adhishthana, that Adhishthana should be perceivable, but it should be incompletely known. Correct? Yeah. And the third condition was that then that which is superimposed, the Adhyastha, should already be either known, remembered, seen elsewhere prior. It should be in the memory bank somehow. And then the final condition is that between the Adhishthana and the Adhyastha, that which is superimposed, and the locus of superimposition, Adhishthana, there should be what is called Sadrishyam. Sadrishyam means similarity. So there can only be rope, snake. You cannot say, eek, this is an elephant. Yeah. Oh, this is just a rope. Correct? You cannot say, eek, this is an elephant. Why? Because what is the sadrishya? What is the similarity between rope and elephant? No similarity. So there should be a similarity. That's why you can only mistake a few things for a snake and not others. What are the few things you can mistake? Garland, thrown away garland, thick one, like the kind Lord Dakshinamurti wears. And let's say it's dried, and then it's, you find it somewhere on the road or on the side of the road in the bushes. So that sadrishyam is there. This is important because we're going to need this at our fingertips right away, So he starts off in a very intriguing way. I'm just going to summarize this, then we'll look at it word by word. So that this portion, first of all, this portion of the Bhashya has a technical name. It's called Akshepa, Adhyāsa-Akshepa Bhāṣya. Akshepa means, impossibility, objection. Even 2 things stand out here in even these first few lines of the introduction. even the first portion of the first few lines, two things stand out very, very clearly that I just want to take you through before we look at it word by word or line by line. Things stand out. The first thing that stands out is that you start on a negative note. No adhyasa possible. Then why are you writing this? It's like some sadhus, come and speak. One such person heard. And then they'll start by saying, Brahman, you can never know. There is nothing to talk about. It's beyond the mind, beyond the senses, beyond perception, beyond this thing, beyond speech. And then they will say, those who talk about it don't know Brahman. Those who know don't talk. And then they'll proceed to talk for 1.5 hours. So this is like that or what? First he says here, and this is where we are going to begin, Mithya iti bhavitum yuktam adhyasah, mithya iti bhavitum yuktam, fourth line, where the first, purna virama, full stop comes. So mithya here is not the mithya we saw yesterday, because mithya, has two senses. One is anirvachyarthe, which we saw yesterday. Anirvachya means neither here nor there, cannot be established, cannot be dismissed. That is the mithya of our Vedanta bread and butter. But here, mithya has another sense, apahnuvarthe, in the sense of abhava, meaning not possible, false. Just simple word false. So here he says the adhyasa is not possible. Arey, what a funny way to begin. Are you going to contradict yourself the rest of the time? Then why do you even begin the Shastra? If you are trying to say that this is not even possible, adhyasa is not possible, then immediately a number of objections come to the mind. If it's not possible, why are you discussing it? Why did you make such a big deal about your introduction? Number one. And also, when you begin a text, you should begin in a positive way. After all, it's a Vedanta text. You should begin positively. But here you are beginning negatively. And therefore, na pathaniyam, no need to study this because this begins on a negative note. Second charge. Okay? Yeah, it's not easy to be a Vedantin, much less write about Vedanta. Even Adi Shankara is exposed to so many, what we call in the Shastra as Purva Paksha, objections. So the second charge is what? You're beginning on a hopeless, pessimistic, negative note. Why should you do this? This is not how to present Vedanta Shastra. Atma Shuddhaha Nityaha Muktaha Buddhaha. It is pure, it is wonderful, it is free. Like that you talk, then we'll listen. And then you say, oh, this error is not at all possible. Then you're going to give us a complex or what? Because this error is felt. I do mistake myself for this body. I do mistake myself for the mind. I do mistake myself for the senses. So the error is deeply felt. And here you're telling me, that if you're, this is not possible. So already I was feeling bad about myself when I entered the Vedanta Shastra. Now my self-esteem is underground, 6 feet below. So this is no way to begin. Second charge. And the third charge from the Purva Pakshi is very interesting, And what is the third charge? The third charge is everything in the Shastra, is what is supposed, any writing is supposed to begin with a prayer. Correct? And so this is the third charge. And the hidden objections, the hidden non-comprehension, the non-understanding that keeps coming to the fore. And so therefore, these, are addressed right from the start. So, right from the beginning, what are you saying? Adhyasa is not possible. So, therefore, what? Then, Shastrasya, anarthakyam syat. The Shastra becomes redundant. The Shastra becomes not redundant, useless. Anartha, useless. Why should I study the Shastra if there is no Adhyasa? But then what? He says that it is this Adhyasa is not there, but then he is going to is felt, it is felt, so it is there. The sense of this confusion or this superimposing, the superimposing what? The body dharmas, we'll see that, the attributes of the body, mind, sense complex, etc. on the Atma, which is free of being finite, is very much the part and parcel of one's daily experience. And as to the second charge, that it should not begin on a negative note. The Tikakara, Govindananda, the famous Tikakara, and there are many other Tikakaras also, but here the Tikakara says, what does the Tikakara says? That, the Shastra itself spends 90% of the time saying na iti, na iti, na iti, neti, neti, neti. Meaning, you are not the body, you are not the mind, you are not the Shoka Karanam is removed through this study. It starts on a negative note, even there. And Adi Shankara, just to understand the negative, the nanj pratyaya, the negative syllable, prefix a in the Ashocyan, spends 2-3 pages writing about it. Amazing. In the Bhashya, in the Gita. So you cannot say there is no precedent, and you cannot say we are being negative, And as to the third charge, what was the third charge? There is no prayer, Mangala Suchaka is not there. The Tikakara says that what can be Mangala than understanding that there is the Adhyasa is not possible, therefore I am free. So this is actually good for us. This is actually an auspicious thing to start with, because the prayer doesn't have to be overt. There are examples of overt prayer. Shri Harim Paramanandam, Upadeshtaram Ishwaram, etc., etc. Vyapakam Sarvalokanam, Karanam Tam Namamyaham. Atma Bodha. Opening prayer for Atma Bodha. Or, there is an opening prayer likewise for Panchadashi, an overt opening prayer. Where the Panchadashikara Swami Vidyaranya lauds his Guru, Shankarananda, as a one-job Guru, whose job is to be the shark and take a bite out of ignorance, swallow up completely the ignorance. Namashri Shankarananda Guru Padambu Janmane Savilasa Mahamoha Grahagrasaika Karmane. Eka Karman. Only one job. The feet of the Guru have only one job, to gouge out the ignorance, like even a shark, to eat something, bite something and leaves no residue. So these are examples of overt prayer. But the Shastra is very complex and very ancient. And in the Shastra there is an equal precedent of covert prayers. How does the Bhagavad Gita begin? Don't count the dhyana shlokas, that is an interpolation. Dhritarashtra uvacha It should begin with Bhagavan Uvacha. At least Bhagavan's name is taken. No. But this Dhritarashtra, this misled king, blind. We are not talking of him. We are talking of Bhagavan. Dhritam Rashtram Yena. By whom? Asmin Jagat. Dharyate. By whom this Jagat? Idam Jagat. Dharyate. By whom it is sustained. See, this is a covert prayer. Vyasa, very clever. And the same Vyasa, even in the Brahmasutra, Athato Brahma Jignasa. No, it's a covert prayer because Atha is Mangala Suchaka. Already. And not to be outdone, Panini, Sutrakara. Another kind of a Sutrakara, grammar sutras. Sutras means, you cannot have long, elongated things. Sutra is shorter than a tweet. Tweet has at least 240 characters now. But, it should be very pithy and not a single word out of place. Alpaksharam, first, condition of a sutra, meaning it should use the minimum amount of syllables, not even words we are talking about. And they should make sense. You can't just put a string of syllables together. Cha, tu, ha, vai. Those are all nipatas. Nipatas means, indeclinables. So, you can't just string them together and say, this is what it is. It has to make sense, asandigdham. And so, Panini has his own prayer. Vriddhiradaich. First sutra. Vriddhi means it's the second level of strengthening, as they call, or change that a vowel undergoes. Technically speaking, you should start with guna, the first level of strengthening. But he purposely puts this. Why? Vriddhi syad me. Even though this is a meta language, which many people cannot appreciate, let alone, understand. May it grow. And it is there. There are still takers for Panini. That means the prayer was successful. And here the Tikakara argues that it is not starting on a negative note. And it is actually, there is a prayer. You cannot say that, Adi Shankara of all people is unprayerful person. He is the most prayerful person, and the prayer is in the form of a blessing for all of us. All those who teach, all those who study, all those who read, Adhyāsa-Bhāṣya may there be no adhyasa. This is a Mangala Suchaka, Mangala Vachaka, he says. So this is how the Tika, defends the particular approach. So the particular approach is a setup. First he says that really speaking, when we look closely, this adhyasa is not possible. How can it be possible? And he'll give some reasons for that. And, and then it's not that he is contradicting himself. He puts this as a premise, and it's not just a premise, it's the reality of the self, that really speaking, what confusion can there be between that which is self-existent, svata-siddha, and that which it objectifies, which is pramana-siddha. No, how can there be a mix-up? And the removal of that so-called mix-up, first of all, we have to understand that the mix-up is really not possible. And the fact that the mix-up is really not possible is our redemption. So it is a blessing vakya that he is beginning in this way, and then he goes on to say how this adhyasa or this so-called superimposition is not just possible, but it happens, on a daily basis. Naisargikoyam lokavyavaharaha. Sarve janaha adhyasyanti. All the people participate in it, and this seems to be the order of the day. This is what is said, you know. So that is the first unique thing about this introduction and about the first paragraph of this introduction. The other unique thing is that he is talking about something that we have seen in the last 3 classes. And, you know, I told you this, I have been emphasizing in the introduction. And what have I been emphasizing? We have been seeing how there are 2 things. What are the 2 things? Aham, you know, pratyaya gocharaha. That which is available for I cognition. Which is what? Self-evident Atma. I know I am. And I know, you know, I exist. And last night in the satsang also a question came about that, and I said, you don't need a certificate of existence. You don't need to go and get that from somewhere, because you know you exist. You are the proof of your existence. It is a self-proven, self-existent, you know, Atma, I. And then we also made that, and then we made a distinction between that and then what? Idam pratyaya gocharaha. Things that are known by this cognition. Like this room, this light, this floor, this carpet, this desk, this chair, this table, this person, whatever it is, this body, that, you know. So like this is what is called the objects of this cognition and objects of I cognition. This is exactly what he is talking about, but with a slight and very subtle twist. So he starts off by saying, Yushmad asmad pratyaya gojarayoho. Yushmad means what? You. Asmad means what? I. So where is the this cognition? He has changed the this cognition to you cognition and I cognition. And a very, you know, intriguing question is, why on earth would he do that? Why not said, you know, why not say, idam asmad pratyaya gocharayoho? It would have served the purpose. Because all this time we know, idam is different from aham. Idam means this. Aham means I. So, this is different from I know. You know, if I say this mango, I'm not going to confuse myself for the mango. You know, so it is easy to say. So why not stick with something that is easily experienced in the everyday? And why change the word idam pratyaya gocharaha, the object of this cognition, into the object of, you know, you cognition. Yushmat pratyaya gocharaha. There is a very profound reason for that. And this is Adi Shankara at his best. You know, it's so delightful to delve into this text and see these, you know, these fine things, very beautiful. Things which would not occur to the general, you know, person. He knows the Shastra back and forth without even needing the books. He knows all the Upanishads. And he is very aware that the word this is often used to connote the Atma. As in, even our closing prayer, what is that? Hello, wake up. Yeah. Thank you. Purnamadaha, Purnam, Idam. Idam he is referring to that, you know, and this, Adaha, that, and this. All this that has come. And then further, Mandukya, Mahavakya, Ayamatma Brahma. But that's not idam, that is ayam. Hello, ayam is the masculine form of idam. Ayamatma Brahma is there. So this, the word this, is always used to in the Upanishads. In all the Upanishads, in majority of Upanishads, even in Kathopanishad, etad vaitat, etat, right here, right now, this Atma is indeed that Brahman. The word tat is used for Brahman, and etat, idam, ayam, etc. are used for something that is easily available to point to as I. This is there, prasiddha. This is well known in many of the Mahavakyas in the Shastra. In the Bhashyakara, the Shankara, out of utter compassion for all of us, doesn't want us to get confused. He doesn't want us to get confused between the this and the that, because this is also used for I. Because that's how I refer to myself. And the Shastra goes along with that because it is easily available, and tat, kind of the far away, remote preposition, is always used for that. Brahman. The word that is used for Brahman because Brahman is not locally available, not subject to objectification, and so the Shastra goes along with my ignorance and uses the word tat. So this is one reason. He doesn't want us to get confused. And so to eliminate that confusion, look at the precision and the clarity here. It's just, amazing. And so he says, Yushmad asmad pratyaya gocharayoho. So you, another word, another reason, a subtle reason to use the word you, Yushmat here, because the Shastra is all about who? You. The one who refers to oneself as I is referred to here as you. It's more of that is how it is, Mangala, beginning. That's what it is. And so, therefore, this is, so with these words we can go further. Yushmad, asmad, you, I, pratyaya gochara yoho. Gochara, that which is, evident. Pratyaya. Pratyaya again has two meanings here. Pratyaya also means suffix, but that's not the meaning here. Pratyaya means here, one meaning, object of cognition. Pratyaya, object of cognition, one meaning. And that's the meaning we know generally. Gochara, that which is evident, as what? Pratyaya, object of cognition. Another meaning for the same word pratyaya, pratiti, that which is, not an object. The subject is also here called pratyaya. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. Pratititvat pratyayaha. And then what? Gocharatvat, also pratyayaha. So, here, Yushmad, Asmad. So, two words are there. You cognition, and I cognition. So, for this you cognition and I cognition, Yushmad, Asmad, Pratyaya, Gocharayoho. And what is this you cognition? Vishaya. He only explains, if you read further. Vishaya, and then what is this I cognition? Vishayin. Vishaya, object. You is an object. And now that we have understood this, we can replace the word you back to this, so that we don't get confused between you and I. So the object of this cognition is what? Is a pratiti, is a pratyaya. It is something that I objectify. So it is a vishaya. It's an object. Whereas I cognition is pratiti. It is a self-cognition. It is already understood as I. It is always understood as I, without the need for another sakshi, witness, to make this I cognition come to light. Correct? So, Yushmad, Asmad, Pratyaya, Gocharayoho. So, between this cognition and I cognition, what is there? A huge gap is there. In fact, it has nothing in common, as is suggested by the next two words, Vishaya, Vishayinoho. One is Vishaya. Vishaya means object. Vishinoti badhnati iti Vishaya. That which binds is an object. So this is object. So anything that is a product of this cognition, anything that I refer to with the help of the preposition this, is what? Is an object. Vishaya. And then what is I cognition? The I cognition is an automatic cognition. It's inherent in the word I itself. As soon as I say I what I'm saying is I'm existent. I know I'm existent. And that existence is free of time and space because I'm here now, and that now is timeless. That's what I'm saying. So this cognition is Vishaya, corresponds to Vishaya, object. I cognition corresponds to Vishayin, the one who enjoys the Vishaya, the one who is not to be confused with the Vishaya, with the object. Namely who? Subject. So Vishaya, object, Vishayi, subject. Tell me, what do they have in common? One is the enjoyer, the other is the object of enjoyment or whatever it is. One is the cognizer, pratiti. One is automatically cognized and the cognizer of everything else. I am evident to myself, everything is evident to me. This is not a small thing. So Vishaya Vishayinoho. So between the Vishaya, the objects of cognition, and the I, in whose presence all the objects of cognition come to light, he says, there is no truck, no similarity at all. Why? Tamah prakashavat viruddha svabhavayoho. So they are like what? Tamaha. Tamas. Tamas means what? Don't say, when I don't feel like getting up in the morning. That's not what we are talking about. We are not talking of sattva, rajas, tamas here. Tamas here is andhakara. Ignorance. When there is absence of light, when there is no light, then what, you can't see anything. So, tamas is like night, darkness. Prakasha means what? Yeah, quickly show. You have to show some signs of life. Yeah. If not signs of light. Yeah. Tamas, darkness. Prakasha, light. Tamah prakashavat, like even light, darkness and light. Now let us be very clear. What is darkness? What corresponds to darkness? Vishaya or Vishayin? Thank God. Otherwise I would say, if anybody thinks it's Vishayin, please come and see me after class. So this can be clarified. So Vishaya, the object is what is corresponding to or compared to night, darkness. Why? Because the object is always in the dark until I come and bring it to light. Yes? And that's what we say 3 times a day in the temple Arati mantra. Na tatra suryo bhati, na chandra tarakam, na ima vidyuto bhanti, kuto ayam agnihi, tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam, tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. This is Arati mantra. And that's why we say this. Where the sun does not shine, what to talk of moon, stars, lightning, they cannot hold a candle to this light of all lights, which is my awareness, this limitless consciousness that I am. Only when I shine, everything else shines, but then there is a word anu, shines after me. because I am the original shine. The others are just, little. I just bring, they shine in borrowed light. Ah. Everything shines in my borrowed light. Such is my glory. And so, all the objects are in the dark. Like you have let's say you're in a theater, in a big theater like this, and then some kind of a modern play, and the various props and the actors are already in position. One is crouching, one is lying down, one is, half, half up, one is fully up, various things. But first it's all dark, correct? And then you have these kinds of fancy, wonderful fancy spotlights. And then the director tells, there is a kind of an understanding, okay, this character is going to be lit up first. Then from this one you jump to the end of the stage to the other one. And then you go to the middle, 3, 4 like this. Some krama, some order is there. And then that's exactly what happens. Then you say, oh, I didn't know that there was anybody here crouched. Much less that, there was a person. I didn't know anything that there was there. Oh, now there is another person. And this one is slowly getting up. And that one is springing to action. This one is dancing. This one is still. That spotlight goes from one thing to another and lights up everything. Till then what? The whole stage is dark. Everything is dark. This is a modern example. But if you say, no, we need a traditional example, that also we have. We have from the beginning we have. You go to Madurai Meenakshi temple, there the goddess is there. You have to do Anumana that she is there. Because everything is dark. No, you have to infer that she is there. Why? You don't know what sari she is wearing. You don't know what jewelry. It's all dark. In the traditional temples, there are no spotlights, no electric lights, nothing allowed. The walls are dark. The goddess herself is carved from a single monolith, black, absolute black granite, dark. The pujari is there, but being from South India, he is also dark. You don't see anything. There is one little flicker of a light, little bit. But you don't know anything. And then what? The arati starts. And the arati you can't just do like that. You have to light up the whole deity. This is what it is. You light up from head to toe and then, oh, she's wearing this sari. Oh, look at the jewelry, look at the diamonds, look at the shine. And then you can get into this worshipful ecstasy. That's what it is. So it lights it up. This is a traditional example. Or you can have the modern example, whichever one, you can relate better to. And so, what is the nature of this light? It's the light of all knowledge. It is you. Really, that's what it is. And so this I cognition is the light that lights up all the characters in this play called the Jagat. So I light up the characters, I light up the audience, I light up the musicians if they are there on the side in a dance, recital, in a dance performance, there will be musicians, live musicians. I light up the musicians, I light up everything in between. So I am the one who brings everything to light. So I am Prakasha. And then that because anything that is the object of I cognition is all light. And why should I say anything? There's only one thing, that is I alone. I am unlike anything else. I told you this in the last 2 days. We have been seeing this in the last 3 classes. I am unlike anything. And so therefore what? Everything else is dependent upon me to come to light. So therefore it is in darkness. Now you know why we spent so long on that Zen, what is that, cone? Yeah. What was that? If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? And then if you say, yes, it does because it is following the laws of physics, etc., etc., then if there are no pair of ears to hear, does it matter if it makes a sound? Is a sound if it is not cognized? Can an uncognized sound, fulfill the definition of the word sound? We can sound off on that for a long time. But, coming back to here, tamah prakashavat, like even a source of light and everything that it lights up. The sun and everything that it lights up. Viruddha svabhavayoho. Viruddha means what? Opposite nature, swabhava. So the I cognition and the this cognition have nothing in common. They cannot, they cannot be even friends. Because even to be friends, you have to have a few things in common. There is nothing in common. One is the lighter upper, other one is the one that is lit up with a little bit of help. And then with the help from the other one. One is as good as non-existent without the other one. The other one blesses the I cognition, blesses the this cognition to come to light, to even exist, so to speak. So therefore it is what? Viruddha svabhavaha. So this viruddha svabhava means completely opposite nature. Viruddha svabhavayoho. Itaretara bhava anupapattihi. Anupapattau. Anupapattihi means untenability, non-possibility, the impossibility. And what is the impossibility being pointed out here by Bhashyakara? Itara, itara, itaretara. Itara, itara, one becoming the other. One bhava, bhava means the existence of one being mistaken for the existence of the other. Bhava means existence. So the existence of one being mutually, being mistaken for the existence of another is impossible. It's totally impossible. Anupapattihi. Itaretara bhava anupapattihi. Siddhayam. Siddhayam means this is established. And that's why I'm telling you this is an introduction not just to Brahma Sutra, but a brilliant introduction to Vedanta Shastra itself. Siddhayam means it's already established. In fact, somebody who has never learnt Vedanta Shastra, in 2 minutes you can make them see that the I cognition is not this cognition. I is the lighter upper of this cognition. You are self-evident, everything else becomes evident to you. This you can make them see in 2 minutes. Even though they have not had a single, they have not studied a single Upanishad, or, they don't even know how to spell Vedanta, doesn't matter. That's why he says Siddhayam means Prasiddhayam. This is already established. If one is a thinking person and you can think a little bit, this is very, very evident. So this being the case, that the I cognition and the this cognition have nothing to do with one another. One is the light, the other is, what? All, that which comes to light, as good as non-existent, until it is cognized. And, we can say other things also, but we should stick to the text. Jada, Chetana, all that will come later. We should see the beauty of the text and let the text unfold itself to us, organically. And that is, a nice way of going about it, so that we don't sort of, ambush the Bhashyakara with our Vedanta knowledge. So we let the text, unfold itself to us. So chit, jada, it will come later and we'll wait for it. So, one is inert, one is sentient, all that he will say. But right now he's just taking the basic thing that everybody universally can understand. There is a reason why he's proceeding this way. So, let us not try to outsmart him, and we go along with the text. And why is he proceeding this way? There's a reason why he's proceeding this way, because he wants to show that this is exactly what is known by everyone, even without recourse to Vedanta or Vedanta, Upanishads, Vedanta Shastra, Vedanta study, analysis, Mimamsa, etc. So, Siddhayam, this has been established. Further, he says that, we have to know 2-3 other things. Tad dharmanam api sutaram itaretara bhava anupapattihi. So, if one cannot be mistaken for the other, if the Vishaya and the Vishayi are totally opposed to one another and cannot be mistaken for the other, Vishaya object, Vishayi subject, if the object and the subject are totally opposed to one another and cannot be mistaken for each other, what to talk about their attributes? So, for example, we can take this traditional example. Here is Surya. What is Surya? Sun. So the sun is lighting up, let's say, ghataha, pot. So the sun is lighting up the pot. What do they have in common? Nothing, But when you think of the sun, because it has lit up a pot, do you see pot or think of pot? No. You don't mistake the sun for the pot. Much less you mistake the pot for the sun. This is what is talked about. You can't mistake one for the other, nor can you mistake the dharmas of one. Dharmas here means various attributes, aspects. You cannot mistake the attributes of one for the attributes of other. What are the attributes of pot? It smells of clay, it has a particular size, it has a particular shape. You cannot mistake that for the sun, the lighter upper of the pot. And then neither can you mistake the, pot for the sun or the sun for the pot. And what are the attributes of the sun? Self-lit, bright, shining. It has nothing to do with one another. Since they have no truck with one another, any kind of a mix-up of their mutual attributes is also impossible. Tad dharmanam api itaretara bhava. What does he say? Sutaram. Sutaram is very important at any time. It's not that today you can't mistake the pot for the sun, but tomorrow come and talk to me again because things may have changed. No. This is an undeniable, unchanging fact that you cannot at any time mistake the attributes of the Vishaya, the object of cognition, for the Vishayi, the subject I. Even the attributes cannot be, confused at all. And then therefore what? Ityataha, therefore, that we shall see in the next class. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.